questions for you, Father Matt.
Okay.
You ready?
Yep.
Okay. Here's the first question. If we receive the Holy Spirit at baptism, what is the point of confirmation then?
That's a good question. I do get that one a lot, actually.
Really?
I do. So I would say to understand receiving the Spirit at confirmation, we have to know how it relates to the sacrament of baptism. So back in the early days of the church, when the church was much smaller, usually the bishop would go and confirm with chrism oil the infants who were baptized. As the church grew, the bishop could not do that anymore, and so confirmation would be delayed to a later time until the bishop would be able to come back and do that. And his point was that he would go and confirm what took place at baptism. So yes, you receive the Holy Spirit at baptism, but when you receive the Holy Spirit again at confirmation, it's not like you're receiving 50%, and then when the bishop comes, you receive the other 50%, but it's still a sacrament, so Christ is the one administering it. And so you're receiving it again in relation to the first time you received the Holy Spirit when you were baptized, so that it can strengthen you to continue on the Christian life and your responsibilities.
If somebody were to come up to you and say, I am not a Catholic and I have no idea what any of this is about, tell me about the Holy Spirit, what would you say to them? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me, this Holy Spirit idea. What is this?
Yeah, I would say basically the Holy Spirit is the Spirit of God. So it's the Spirit that brings forth together the Father and the Son. So the Spirit is what gives life. So when God creates something, or when a sacrament is administered, or when someone is strengthened through virtue or holiness, that's God's Spirit working within them. So it's kind of like the divine coming down into the human realm, and we share in God's divine life through His Spirit within us.
I'm not sure if I said that to somebody that was like not Catholic.
That was maybe a little
okay,
too
now
much.
go on your way. Now that you
Yeah.
know what it is.
Now you're an expert.
You're a Catholic now.
Yes.
Okay, here's another question that I thought of. Actually, I found this online at Funny Questions for Priests. What is the maximum amount of water that you can bless to make holy water? Can you, like a whole river? A pool?
That's also a good question.
Trying to stump you.
I guess technically,
like, can you bless the ocean?
Like if I went to the Atlantic Ocean
Yeah.
and I made holy water, I suppose it would be blessed. I don't see how it wouldn't be. I'm not saying that's a good idea. I'm not saying it also hasn't been done.
Right, I bet there's holy water all over the place.
Probably.
Actually, on Epiphany, the Eastern Christian Church, they bless rivers.
Oh,
So,
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
FYI, I found that out too
Yeah.
while I was researching
There you go.
questions.
There's a lot of holy water out there.
There's pretty much all the water's probably
all the
holy.
water's holy.
Yeah. We don't even need
You don't even need
this
it anymore.
What is the maximum distance that a priest can be from a penitent for an absolution to occur? Like, can you validly absolve somebody across the football field? What about further away if you had a megaphone?
I would say I would have to hear them, and they would have to hear me in terms of naturally speaking. Like I couldn't do it over the phone.
That is a question. Like, why can't you give confession over the phone?
Yeah, because I guess it's about the incarnation, right? That Jesus took on flesh, that the sacraments are in relation to Him, and so the sacraments are tangible things. So in sacrament, in terms of sacraments, there's form and matter. Form is the words that have to be said. Matter is the stuff that's needed. So if I were to baptize with Coca-Cola, it would be an invalid baptism.
And it would be a mess.
That would be a very mess. Terrible. And the bishop would get a letter for that.
For sure.
Confession, the matter are the sins that the penitent says. And so the priest needs to hear those words naturally, because that's within
coming from
the
you,
sacrament. Right. So as long as they could hear me and I could hear them naturally. Mm-hmm. Now, if you could yell that across Brown Stadium,
I'm a sinner.
I suppose it would be valid.
Good, because we're going to go to the football field next, and we're going to have you do.
We'll do it. We'll go on the Jumbotron and,
Jumbotron.
yeah.
Those are all the questions I had, but I think that we're going to have people submit questions this week on our weekly email, and then I will ask you more questions next week
I'm excited.
as we attempt to stump you.
It will not be hard to do, but we'll try.